Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us today again. Yesterday, we have seen what is DevOps, and if you want to become a DevOps engineer, what are all the things you should know. And considering DevOps, how you can benefit by learning Azure DevOps and how that will help you to grow in your career or in your technical perspective, anything. So anything you wanted to start your career as a DevOps engineer, you should know some basics. So one of the first basic is SDLC or ALM. So why should I become a DevOps engineer? And if I want to become a DevOps engineer, what are all the things I should know? The first thing is that the name itself says DevOps engineer means it revolves all around development and operations. So if you are already working in IT industry, whether you are a IT administrator or developer or tester or any operations engineer, you might be listening these words. The people are developing something. These people are supporting something. They are into operations team. They are into development team. So these all things, whatever they are doing, every activity will follow some process. So in IT industry, we call it as model or methodology. So SDLC, software development lifecycle, has many models. It's not one or two. There are many models in SDLC. But the top two models.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen? Because
no, not yet. I will tell you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So when it comes to SDLC, there are many models, not one or two, but from last 30 to 40 years. So exactly to say the IT evolved around 1960 to 1970. Before that, there is no IT at all. Okay, so the IT came existing in 1960 or 1970. So if you consider last 50 years, from 1970 to 2020, from last 50 years, there are many models came and they went, but only two models still there people are following. So the one is waterfall model, another one is agile model. Now I am sharing my screen. Just a minute. Yeah. Just let me know if you are seeing my screen.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. This is waterfall model. So what is waterfall model? The waterfall model was the first process model. As I told you, it's like process. Whatever process they are following, we call it as model. The waterfall model was the first process model to be introduced. So when the IT started in 1960s and 1970s, what they used to do, they used to divide their project work into different sections. That is project planning, requirements, analysis, design, coding, testing, deployment. So these all are like phases. First phase, second phase, third phase. In waterfall model, what they used to follow, they will do one activity at a time. Until and unless the first activity completes, they won't go to the next phase. If you see here, it says the same. So the waterfall model was the first process model to be introduced. It is also referred as a linear sequential life cycle model. If you see linear, one after another, linear sequential life cycle model. It is very simple to understand and easy to use. You can see by seeing the image itself, you will understand. Okay, first they are doing project planning. Then they will go for requirements gathering. Then they will analyze whatever requirements they have gathered. Give me a second, guys. Just a second. Just. Yeah, okay. So in waterfall model, everything happens one after another only. Let's say you have a plan to develop a project and you planned the project for next 12 months. So first 1 month, what do? You will, whenever you got an idea to develop an application or develop something, you will recruit everyone. It may be a development engineer, test engineer, IT administrator, support engineer, everyone. So in the phase of project planning, entire team, entire engineers, they will be idle. There is no work for them. Then requirements, then analysis, then design. So whatever phase you are running in your current project model, the remaining teams will be sitting idle. Why? Because this model, okay, here you can see, In that waterfall model, each phase must be completed before the next phase can begin. Okay, each phase must be completed before the next phase can begin, and there is no overlapping in the phases. You cannot overlap, which means if you are doing something in design, you cannot go into coding until and unless design is complete. You cannot step into coding. Only after design completion you can start coding. Only after coding is completed, then only you can start testing. So this way there are some, what you say, disadvantages. There are some back points in waterfall model. So this model cannot accept the changes in requirements during development. So if there is some coding activity happening, customer comes and says, I want to change something, they will not accept. Why? Because we are already done with the requirements phase. You cannot go back to requirements phase. It becomes tough to go back to the phase. Not a good model for complex and object oriented projects. Let's say you wanted to continuously deploy or continuously improve something in your project. This waterfall model is not suitable. Why? Because once you are done with one phase, you are not going to back, and you are not allowed to even to go back also. That's what waterfall model says. It is like a design. Whatever it says, you need to follow. So no working software is produced until late during the life cycle. As I said, you have planned for 1 year release until December. You are not going to show anything to the world. Why? Because you are going step by step only. So if somebody comes in mid of January or in mid of March and you are in analysis phase, you cannot show them. Why? Because there is no design happened. Until and at least design complete, you can show them at least a blueprint, not a working model, at least a blueprint, how this model going to be. So even the waterfall model is very successful model, but people started saying, okay, this is taking long time. And when I'm doing some activity, remaining all teams are sitting idle. I'm losing some productivity. So then people started looking into another model. There comes the next model, which is called Agile. Okay, Agile means, you can see the meaning of Agile itself is swift or versatile. So in waterfall model, during requirements phase or design phase, what are coding and testing people are doing? They are not doing anything. So then Agile, what it came? So it came to overcome the drawbacks of waterfall model in the mid 1990s. As I said, the IT started in 1970s. For almost 2 decades, 1970s and 1980s, people blindly, why? Because there is no other model. People blindly followed the waterfall model. So even though there are some drawbacks, there is some latency, the product release was getting delayed, but still people used to follow that. But in 1990s, the Agile software model was proposed. What happens in Agile? The tasks are divided into time boxes, small time frames. Let's say you have planned something for this month. In entire month, you are not going to do only document collection or requirements analysis. Within this month, first 4 days, you will do requirement analysis. Next 4 days, you will do design. Next 4 days, you will do development. Next 4 days. This way, these tasks are divided into time boxes, small time frames to deliver specific features. For suppose you wanted to develop a web application. Let's say it is a commercial website like Flipkart or Amazon. So in a Flipkart or Amazon website, there will be multiple modules: user login, product portfolio, payment page, or shopping cart, then user credit card information or payment information. So you can plan. First I will design first page. What you say, the UI first page. So when the user login module. So in user login module, there will be nothing much. Just you need to enter username and password and click on enter. The backend, it will verify the user credentials. If the user is valid, it will allow you. Once after entering the page, then you need to decide what page I need to show first to the user login. That can be decided later, but at least for login page, you can design advanced, right? So this way, in Agile, the tasks are divided into time box frames to deliver specific features for a release. So here you can see everything happens in parallel. It's not like sequential, one after another. Everything happens in parallel. All the teams sit together and they will decide. So they will do a brainstorm session where they will analyze the requirements. They will go for a design or document prototype. It's like, okay, login module. At least on a notepad or at least on a paint page, they can show you this is how the login page is going to be. So here the username comes, here the password comes, here the user will click on the submit button. In the backend, it will verify the credentials. Based on the prototype, they will do some development. They will do some development. Based on the basic development, testers will test something. Okay, when I'm entering username, whether it is allowing alphabeticals or special characters, and when I'm entering the password, is it taking the password? Even if I'm leaving the password field empty, will I be allowed to click on submit button? These are kinds of basic testings within that page. We are not going to test the entire web application. It's like only one page developed and one page tested. If everything looks good, then we are good to go to the next page. Even we are allowed to deploy. It may be one page, but still we are allowed to deploy and deliver it to client. You can show the client, the first page is ready. Your entire web application may have 10 to 20 web pages or 100 web pages. The first web page is ready. You can deliver whatever functionality you have designed in that page, all that functionality is done. So if there are some errors or if there are something wrong happened, then it comes to back to you. Then again, you do the requirement analysis. Then you start modifying the document prototype or design prototype, then development. This is how Agile model has shown some benefits to the users. Okay, even though I'm in requirements phase, but I'm taking some work from coding team, testing team, and the deployment team. All are sitting together and they are working together. That too in a time frame manner. Okay, this week what you are going to do, next week what you are going to do. So it helps a lot. You can the team collaboration improves and the product delivery also improves. But in Agile, what happens? Once you deliver the product, there is no feedback from customer until and unless he says that there is something gone wrong. You will not know what's happening there in the customer market until and unless the client comes back to you. Okay, I am facing some issue. Some pages are not loading. There is some errors coming on this page. Then only you will start again thinking. Otherwise, your work is done. You have delivered the product. You don't bother about monitoring, operations, feedback, support, anything. Why? Because Agile model and waterfall model both are part of SDLC, which means software development lifecycle. It says only about development, how you wanted to develop, what you wanted to develop, and how you can deliver the developed project. Once the delivery is done, who is going to support it? Who takes care of the operations? Who maintains this? See here. The disadvantages of Agile model are not suitable for handling complex dependencies and more risk of sustainability, maintainability, and extensibility. So once you deliver the product, you don't know whether the product is suitable for the current market or not, whether you are able to maintain it or not. So there comes a new model, that is DevOps model. So where we are collaborating the development team with operations team. So whatever happening in the development, everything is known to operations team. How the operations team supporting the application will be monitored or will be coordinated by development team. If some issue comes in operations team exactly know who is the person who written this code. If I have some issue, whom I need to contact. Okay, you can see here. So DevOps, it's a portmanteau. So portmanteau means combination of two activities. Okay, portmanteau means combination of two activities. So DevOps is a portmanteau of development and operations, and is the combination of practices and tools. If you remember my definition of DevOps, DevOps is a practice. That's what they are saying, is the combination of practices. DevOps is a practice where people use different tools. Okay, different tools designed to increase organization ability to deliver the application and services faster than the traditional software development process. So what is traditional software development process? Waterfall model, Agile model. They are traditional. They are there in the market from 1970s and 1990s. So DevOps came after the millennium, maybe 2010 or 2005, even you can say after 2000 only. Before 2000, there is no DevOps at all. Okay, DevOps, if you remove this one, DevOps is a combination of practices and tools designed to increase the organizational ability. It's not one team ability. That's what we discussed yesterday. If you want to implement, okay, if you want to implement DevOps in your project, it's not your decision or it's not your team decision. It should be the decision of organization. Why? Because if something is going to be benefited through DevOps, it's up to the organization only. Why? Because If you wanted to implement DevOps, it's not like you are going to use one tool or you are going to work for one team. Entire team members in the team should follow the DevOps life cycle. Why? Because DevOps life cycle means it's a continuous process. See, when the code is done and the build is done, it's not like that the coders are sitting idle. No. The moment they're done with one code phase, immediately there will be another operate monitor and there will another plan is ready for them. It's like sprint. So what is sprint? Sprint is a fixed time frame. So maximum days for sprint is 15 days, 3 weeks. Minimum days is 1 week. So based on the organization ability, they will plan the sprint either 1 week or 3 weeks. So it will be continuously running. There is no break or no stoppage for coders or builders or testers, any team you consider. So once they're done with the one phase of coding, there will be next phase ready for them. There is a plan for them. So under a DevOps model, development and operations teams work together across the entire software application lifecycle. So again, SDLC is different. Software development lifecycle is different and application lifecycle is different. So we consider it as application lifecycle management. There is another concept called ALM. Okay. So in DevOps model, development and operations teams work together across the entire software application lifecycle from development and test through deployment to operations. You can see here. So this is from development through deployment and operations. Both the teams sit together and work together. So if there is new feature is being developed in development, it will be communicated to operations. Hey, operations team, I'm going to develop a new feature. This is how this feature works. If there is some issues in this feature, in my development team, for suppose there are 10 or 15 people in the development team, only these 4 people worked on this feature. So in future, if you get any problem in this feature, you need to contact these 4 people only. And out of these 4 people, there will be one person work as on call. He will be working as on call. So for suppose first 1 week, person 1, 2, 3, 4. In the same way, in a month, 4 weeks, sorry, there will be one person who is working as on call. If there is any issue in the operation, in the feature from operations team, anybody can contact this person. He will be able to respond to you and he will give you proper response based on your issue. If there is any more help needed, he will ask you to engage other teams as well. So because of this DevOps, there are more benefits to the entire team, not only to the team, to the organization as well. So some of those benefits are speed. Obviously, you are going to deliver something. Why? Because in waterfall model or agile model, if there is something gone wrong, okay, if there is something gone wrong, operations team don't know whom to reach. So what they will do, they will have some contacts from the development team or some other team. They will reach to them. They will ask them, okay, we are facing this issue. Please escalate this to the next level. The next team will escalate to the next team and then the next team will go to the development team. This is how support works. L1, L2, L3. After L3 only, there will be a development team. Because if it needs code change, it should go to development team. Until there is no code change required, it might be fixed by L2 team or L3 team. So these are levels. In waterfall model and agile model, people used to follow this only. But whereas in DevOps model, okay, whereas in DevOps model, it's not like L1, L2, L3. The operations contact guy, operations team can contact directly the developer who will be working as on call. And he has some idea on all the features. Maybe he owns one feature, but definitely he will have idea on some other features as well. If the issue is from his own feature, he can fix it on the, there and then itself. But if there is any issue in another feature, he will help you. Okay, this feature was developed by some other. Okay, this feature was developed by Manoj or this feature was developed by Shiva. He is not on call today, but let me get his time. If he is able to join the call, we can start a call and we will take his help and we will fix this issue. Why? Because there is a customer who is facing problem because of this feature. He is not able to complete his work. That's how DevOps will help the support team and the developers and ultimately the right services are delivered to the people in a speed manner. Then rapid delivery. Obviously, when you are working in a speed, the delivery will be obviously fast. So you can deliver rapidly. Why? Because all the teams are working in a proper speed. There is no delay. It's not like that you faced some issue today, you will get a mail, we will solve your issue in next 48 hours. No, you might have faced this issue in banking transactions. When you are doing some payment, your amount will be debited in fraction of seconds. But if the transaction goes wrong, you will receive a mail that your amount will be created back in 72 hours. For debiting, there will be 5 seconds time, but for crediting, there will be 72 hours time, because debiting is simple. They are taking your money, but when they need to give it back to you, there are a lot of process. Why this money came to us? What is this guy doing? Where is the payment failed? Is it something from their end or our end? Is there any middleware software fail? Okay. So, and apart from the speed and rapid delivery, reliability. When you are working in proper speed and when you are delivering something in a proper manner, obviously people will rely on your service. They will trust your service. So because of this, DevOps will give you more reliability. Okay, I'm giving proper service to my team, my end users. Then scalability. Even tomorrow, let's say, have you seen? I mean, you might have seen in Flipkart or Amazon, there will be some sale days, big billion days, or some festival sales. During those festival days, what happens? There will be in a day, Flipkart might have seen 10,000 user logins, but during these offer days, there will be 1 lakh or 10 lakh users will log in into these applications. But those load will be there for 4 days or 5 days or 1 week. During these 4 days or 5 days, you need to change everything in your application so that it can bear heavy load. It can accept thousands of requests in fraction of seconds. This scalability, if you want to implement in waterfall model and agile model, there will be a lot of process. First, you need to submit a change request. Then it needs to go to the problem management. Then the development will come up with a proper code change. They will ask you at least 1 week time. Okay, if I have to deliver something next week, you need to tell me before week only. But these festival days are something like there might be chances that they might face more than the expected user base, but they can scale it immediately. If there are more users, you can immediately upscale or you can auto scale your application to bear those loads to serve the users without any latency or without any delay. So as we already said, DevOps model, both teams are working together. So we can expect improved collaboration. There will be no third person. Operations team facing some issue, they can directly contact development team. There is no L1, I mean, there is no L2, L3. You can directly contact development team who has actually written this code. In general, what happens? L1 will go to L2, L2 will take it to L3. If L3 is not able to fix, then they will go to development team. But whereas in DevOps, both are sitting together. Everybody knows who is the person supporting this application, and the other person knows who has written code for this module. So this way, you will have improved collaboration. And then finally, if you are using DevOps, it's not only gives the speed or scalability or collaboration, it will give more security to your application. Why? Because at every stage, see here, code stage, build stage or release stage, at every stage, you are going to check the application performance or the application loopholes or vulnerabilities, code issues. At every stage, you are going to check this. Because of this, obviously, your application will have complete security. So it's complete secure, no need to worry. You can deploy or you can install this application on any system. Why? Because I have tested everything. Even I have tested the compatibility. If my application is a web application, I have tested in Mozilla browser, Edge browser, Chrome browser. Even I have tested in different operating systems, Linux, Ubuntu, Windows, Mac. This is what DevOps does. When application is designed or planned or deployed, they will do everything. How can I make this application deployed into AWS cloud or Azure cloud or Windows missions, Linux missions? Or if I want to use the same application in different browsers like Firefox, Chrome or Edge, so they will do all the testings. That's why this is continuous integration or continuous testing and continuous delivery. Everything will be happening continuously. Tomorrow, if some person will come and ask you, hey man, I want to use your application in Safari browser. Your application is already working fine in Chrome and Mozilla, but I want to use it in Safari. That is something like a new request. So we immediately plan something, we make the necessary code changes, and we will build it, and we will test it, and then we will release. It's like sprint. We planned something this Monday, and next Monday we have released it. It's not like that. Okay, there is some change happening in my application. I will deliver it to you next quarter, or else next month, or else next year. It's not like that. DevOps will do everything in proper plan, in fixed time frames. This week or next week, at least maximum 3 weeks only, not more than that. If it is more than that, We will not promise to the end user itself. We will not announce any new features. Okay, these are all about waterfall model, agile model, and what are all the disadvantages that we are seeing in waterfall and agile, and how this IT industry, the current IT industry, leaving this waterfall model and agile model, they are moving towards DevOps. So when it's coming to DevOps, it's not like that one person work as DevOps engineer in your team. When we are implementing DevOps in our project or in our organization, everybody in the team, everybody in the project should understand what is DevOps. So that's how the current IT industry, even though you are a developer or tester or any engineer, you should know the basics of DevOps, how DevOps works. If you are going to contact a DevOps person, you should know at least what to ask him. Even it might be related to any activity. Let's consider any activity that is from build activity or test activity or deploy activity. The DevOps person should be able to answer you at least the minimum answer, the basic answer. If there is something failing in testing, okay, it seems the test plan was not proper or the test cases were not designed better. That's the reason the test is failing. Let me dig into more, or I can contact my testing team. He will give you the first answer. Then he will go more into the issue. So these all are actually part of ALM only. Whatever we are discussing right now, either it can be waterfall model or agile model or even the DevOps model. These all are part of ALM only, application lifecycle management. So what are all the phases that we have in a ALM? So first you will be defining the requirements, then develop the product, then test it and make sure that its quality is assured, then deploy it. Even after deploy, go for continuous maintenance and give it some improvements of the product. So this way you can keep your product customer base. Customer will have strong trust on you. Okay, this person is doing something. They already delivered something to me, but they are not stopping it there. They are improving something every quarter or every month. Okay. So this is something about ALM. So ALM is an integrated system of people, tools, and process. Okay. So ALM, DevOps is not only an SDLC model. This is kind of ALM model. That's why if you see that it covers our definition as well. DevOps is a practice where people uses different tools by following specific process to deliver the software application from its initial planning state to development through testing and maintenance. Even if you want to decommission this application or if you want to retire this application, ALM will tell how to do that also. ALM will tell you how to do that also. So by combining and organizing all these elements, ALM improves product quality, optimizes productivity, and eases the management and maintenance burden for related products and services. This is all about ALM. So considering all these phases, initial phases of IT industry is waterfall model. Then Agile came in 1990s. Then after 2000, DevOps came. So these all are part of ALM only. These all are part of ALM only. These are not new. ALM is there since the inception of IT industry. Whatever you wanted to develop something, it covers entire life cycle, application life cycle management from documentation stage. Okay, from documentation stage to continuous maintenance or monitoring stage. So in these phases, the models or the process you are following are called as SDLC models, software development lifecycle models. We have seen only a couple of models, but there are many models. So just go to Google search and search for SDLC models. You will see many. You will see many. So if I go for this page, there are many pages you can browse this. I'm just going. I'm just taking to some pages only. See here, we have this the SDLC is all about planning, defining, designing, building, testing, and deploying. So how you are going to plan, how you are going to define the requirements, then create a design based on the requirements gathered, start building the source code, test the application after the build is done. If everything looks good, then deploy. This is SDLC. If something gone wrong or if you want to give any extra features, then again start from planning. Okay, so the basic models are, see, waterfall model. This is the first model which came into existence to follow in IT industry. Then iterative model. Here you can see the image, waterfall model, one after another. Okay, requirements, design, implementation. Implement is nothing but building and coding. Then testing, deploying, after deploying, maintenance. Then iterative model. Okay, then iterative model. So iterative means, so first you do requirements, then you do some iterations. In first iteration, some design, second iteration, some design, and third iteration, some design. So this is similar to agile model only. So the advanced model of iterative model is nothing but agile model. Okay, so this is spiral. It's like again some stages model only. So in first stage, what I'm going to do, second stage, what I'm going to do. So it's like prototypes, design, code, then test, and then implementation. Then V model. This is another kind of stage. So start from here, go there, and deliver like this. So requirements, design, coding, testing, and then deploying. Next one is agile model. So here comes the agile model. Very big bang model. Yeah, agile model. So agile model, we have everything: planning, requirement analysis, design. So here comes. So everything works as sprint, a fixed time frame. So this is one sprint, this is one sprint, and this is one sprint. So in each sprint, we will perform all activities. It's not like that in a sprint, I will do only planning or only coding. In every sprint or in every iteration, we will do all activities. These iterations will have either 1 week, 2 week, or 3 months, 2-3 months. To see here, and we have seen the above models like Scrum model, extreme programming model, adaptive. These all are together called as agile methodologies. These all are, we have seen, right? Agile came into 1990s. So there are many models came with Agile. In 1994, another thing, 95 Scrum. Now every day, most of the organizations are following either Agile or Scrum. Either Agile or Scrum. They will follow either Agile or Scrum. These both are similar. There is no much difference. They follow same process and they will give you the same deliveries. And if you go to any other website, there also you will see some models: waterfall model, then V model, agile model. Okay. Then what is DevOps? So DevOps, with respect to DevOps, as I said, DevOps is implemented at organization level. So you cannot give a proper definition across all the organizations. So each organization has its own definition for DevOps. If you see here, wait a second. Sorry guys, it's stuck. Yeah, so this is like Amazon Web Services, AWS. They will have their own definition for DevOps, how they are going to implement DevOps in their organization, or how they will help the organizations who are going to implement DevOps. Wait a second. Why these pages are getting stuck? So these are like different definitions. I'm trying to. Okay, first we will go with Azure model. Microsoft definition. What is DevOps? So what they say, they will say DevOps definition. It's a compound of development and operations. DevOps is the union of people, process, and the technology to continuously provide value to customers. So again, it's all around, evolves around our definition only. So DevOps is a practice where people means different teams, use different technologies by following specific process to continuously provide value to customers. Value means nothing but they are going to give whatever service you request them. So the benefits of DevOps are like accelerating time to market. You can release it early to the market, adapt to the market and competition. If there are any change that comes into the market, immediately you can adapt to that. It's not like that, okay, if there is something change happened in the market, I will adapt that change in the next year or in next release. No, you can adapt it immediately. So maintaining system stability and reliability. As the DevOps model will tell you how to do the operations also, it's easy for you to maintain the stability and reliability. And improving the mean time to recovery. If something goes breakdown, if something goes wrong, you can recover it easily. Why? Because you know everything from the initial phase itself. How this was planned, who developed this, what is the source code, and where is the source code. What are all the issues that we face during the build phase or deploy phase or release phase? So in this way, if something goes wrong, you can fix it immediately. You can recover the application immediately. So plan, develop, deliver, and operate. Okay, plan, develop, deliver, and operate. This is Azure definition for DevOps. So how Microsoft wanted to implement this DevOps. Then going for another organization. So this is Atlassian. So Atlassian is another organization which is developing new DevOps tools. Okay, Atlassian is another organization. It has its own stack of DevOps tools. Jira for work item tracking, Bitbucket for source code management. Okay, continuous integration tool Bamboo, and then Confluence for documentation. And then there are different tools, guys. There are different tools from yeah. If I go for products, you can see here, yeah, Jira for work item tracking, Confluence for documentation, then Bitbucket for code source code management, then Bamboo for continuous integration and continuous deployment. Then what they say, Trello for collaborative visually. I mean, Trello is something kind of if you know Visio diagrams, Microsoft Visio, Trello is such kind of tool. You can visualize your application flow. Then Jira work management, Jira service management. These all are like tools from Atlassian. They are also famous for DevOps. So what Atlassian saying with respect to DevOps? Again, see, everybody will follow the same, either practice or tools or anything that we say about collaboration between different teams. Okay, so here they are covering something. DevOps movement began around 2007. Okay, so DevOps is like around 2007. Before that, there is no such DevOps. It started around 2007. How does DevOps work? It includes developers and IT operations working collaboratively throughout the product life cycle to increase the speed of quality software deployment. Okay, so this is the definition from Atlassian, another famous organization for DevOps tools. Then what happened in this website, man? I'm not able to even scroll on this page. AWS is completely, yeah. Now I'm able to, yes. So what is DevOps definition with respect to AWS, another cloud provider? So again, same. DevOps is a combination of philosophies, practices, and tools that increases the organization ability to deliver applications at high velocity, which means speed. So the speed enables organizations to better serve their customers and compete more effectively in the market. It's same. So this is your company where you are creating applications or developing software, and these are the customers. How you are going to deliver? First to build it, test it, then release. After the release, monitor the customer usage. If there is something goes wrong, then plan for the next release. This is how DevOps works. So here they are showing the same benefits: speed, delivery, reliability, scalability, improved collaboration, then more security. This is all about DevOps. Okay. Now there is another website where you can find more information, that is called DevOps Days. Okay. DevOps Days is an organization. It conducts a seminar or a webinar. So during Corona, everything converted into webinar only. But before that, it used to happen as a seminar. So what this organization will do? So this organization will conduct a seminar in every city in the world. You see, they have planned for next 1 year. They have planned for next 1 year. If you scroll down, see this event is going to happen June 15, 2023. Right now we are in June 2022 only, but they have planned for next 1 year. So in May 31st, on May 31st, they are conducting something in Zurich, then Beijing, then Amsterdam, then Victoria, then Seattle, then Medellin, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Detroit, Boston, Chicago, Houston, then Montreal, Birmingham. So what they do, they will explain what are all the benefits you can get by using DevOps. And in DevOps, what are all the latest technologies or latest practices? They will come up with some examples. Okay, they will come up with some examples. You know, there are organizations who are there in the industry for more than 200 years. Let's say Ford Motors, General Motors, Volvo Cars, Wells Fargo Bank, JP Morgan Bank. These all are there in the industry for more than 200 years. So they don't know the benefits of DevOps. So they wanted all organizations to use this DevOps and get the benefits of DevOps. It's your choice, whatever tools you are using. Either you can use Jenkins or any tools. If I go to search for DevOps tools, not like one tool or two tools. There are many tools. Even you can consider, see, it's like 30 best tools, DevOps tools. So let me see this. And if I go for any other list, see, Jenkins, Docker, Nagios, Ansible, GitHub. So there are many tools. Okay, there are many tools. You can choose whatever tools, but by following DevOps, so your industry or your organization or your team, what are all the benefits that they will get? How quick you can deliver your application to the customers. So this organization will explain you. This is called DevOpsDays.org. It's an organization. Okay, it's an organization. It was sponsored by many other associations, many other teams. You can see here. So DevOps Days is a worldwide community conference series of anyone interested in IT improvement. How can you improve the IT industry? How can you make the customer or the organization to get the benefits of DevOps tools? Whatever tools that you want to do, it's your choice. They are not going to tell you what are all the tools you want to use. They will tell you how you can implement DevOps. See, these are all the tools. Taking some major, there are, yeah, see, this is Jenkins. This is Vagrant from HashiCorp. Then PagerDuty for customer engagement. Prometheus for monitoring. No idea. Splunk is again for monitoring. You just search like this, DevOps tools. You just Google it for DevOps tools. You will get many tool stack. You can get many tool stack. Okay. So these are all the benefits and these are all the models that are being evolved from waterfall model to DevOps model during these phases of application lifecycle. Either you can say application lifecycle or you can say software development lifecycle. How companies are doing earlier and what companies want to do in next 1 or 2 years. So if you calculate the percentage, let's say uh, DevOps uh, adoption. Okay, DevOps adoption. So there is something. Let me show you. There is some maybe this image. There is some study going on how IT industry is being adopting the DevOps model. If you see here, I'm not sure. I maybe this one. Yeah, North America DevOps market size by application 2015 to 2025. See, this is how the companies are adopting DevOps. This is not the right chart, but there should be a chart. Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe yeah. So my entire company has fully embraced DevOps. So this study is very old study. If I consider any other thing, yeah. So if you see this image, you can understand what is this image says. Yeah. So entire company changed into DevOps. 17% in 2018, whereas in 2017 it's 10% only. Next, some of the teams using DevOps. So 2018 is it's down, but see there are something. So people are coming to use DevOps. See, I have never heard of DevOps. So in 2017, there are 6% people who says that they never heard DevOps. But in 2018, there are only 3% who said they don't know DevOps. This value is reverse, guys. So in 2017, 6% of the people, they said they don't know DevOps. But whereas in 2018, it came down to 3% only. We are considering DevOps, but not started. In 2017, it's like 15%, but in 2018, it's only 14%. So we just undertaken DevOps journey. There is some values. It's not like specific values, but there are some values. How people are using adoption. I mean, using DevOps in their development activities. Okay, this is something even new for me. I have not seen this image. Okay, so Roger's adoption curve for DevOps. So these are the organizations. So innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. These are something like how people are adapting based on their market, based on their development. Okay, so this is all about the change. So if I go for let's say what I can, there is something like DevOps usage. Hmm, not proper chart, but this is all about the SDLC or ALM models, guys. So if you know this or if you understand this, then we are good to proceed. Okay, now I got idea why I want to become a DevOps engineer and what are all the benefits of DevOps in the IT industry or in my team or in my company. Okay, yeah, uh, I'm done, guys. Any questions? Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm done. Any questions? So by this time, you should be in a position that you should answer what is waterfall model, what is agile model, and even what is DevOps, why people are moving towards DevOps. So you should be in a position to answer all these questions. Done?
So any
Okay.
technical questions, guys?
No, actually, there is no such no much technical aspects in this. It's all about why you want to learn DevOps and what are the benefits you get with DevOps.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, today concept is all about theory only. So what is SDLC? Why? Because there are many engineers who don't know how development team works, how operations team works. So they should know these kind of activities when they are going to switch their career to DevOps.
Okay.
So you should be in a
So,
position to tell
so
that.
before,
Yeah,
yes, sir. So before winding up the session, let me stop the recording first. One
yeah,
second.
okay then. Yeah. Thank you.